In franchise concept, veterans, when measured against their peers, make 3 times the sales, so have 3 times the revenue versus non-veteran.
You don't have to agree with everything that someone says or does, but they might be a good fit for you in some way. And so, like, be around people that are goal-oriented, that will push you.
I think that people do come in your life, and it could be a short stay or it could be a long stay, and they're long stays because they bring value to the table for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Signal Fire Radio, a show where a bunch of military veterans get together and destroy the villainous philosophy of self-doubt by having encouraging conversations designed to feed your mind, strengthen your body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe. I'm your co-host, Rob Renz. I'm joined, as always, by the Port City attorney and fellow co-host, Brandon Pettyjohn, Esquire, PLLC. How are you today, Brandon?
We're here. Yeah. We're doing great. You know, just enjoying life.
Enjoying life. Great and getting better.
And so is that ear. That ear's here.
Yeah, the ear's here and the beard, too. Juicy. I thought you said you were getting rid of it after last episode.
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
We're going. You know, I need to get it as luscious as yours.
This thing is driving me crazy. I find myself, like, the little hairs on the mustache and around the mouth, like, start to curl back in.
Yeah.
So I find myself pulling them out because I am destroyed. We have never gone through paper towels faster than what we're going through in the Renz household right now.
Just all the food stuck in there.
Food, and every morning with coffee, like, it gets up in there. But it makes me feel more like a man when I drink water from my Nalgene, you know, because then it just, like, gets in there.
Everywhere.
I'm like, yeah.
Super clean.
Super clean.
Then you get to suck the fluid out of the flavor saver.
Yeah.
The mustache.
Every once in a while, suck it out.
What did I drink earlier?
Yeah, I know. Weird story. I don't care. We've done almost 200 episodes of Signal Fire Radio. So if you've been listening for this long, then you know that I'm totally transparent. I had an incredibly weird smell that was stuck in my beard, and I couldn't get it out for days. It smelled like a butt. On my upper.
What did you do?
I did not. I have no idea what happened or how that occurred. But I washed it with Dawn dish soap and it still stunk. I think it was the water from our well out on our property.
Sure.
Got stuck up in there. Yeah, but it could have been anything.
So
really.
Or it could have been a whale.
Could have been.
You're trying to wash the bad smell out with more bad smell.
With more bad smell, right. Dawn dish soap. I forgot to introduce our third co-host, newly minted co-host, Chris Bradley from Cape Fear Investigative Services. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Good.
Cue special effects.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like Ric Flair popping up in the background. Woo!
Woo! Ric Flair still got it. That's a guy that
74.
74.
Insane.
What do you think? Where does his energy source come from? I think he found the Tesseract and hasn't told anybody.
Well,
but that's
I think
just me.
he's doing energy drinks now, and he's got Woo Chews. I mean,
what's the Woo Chew is like his
It's edible.
his
Yeah.
Oh, is it CBD or THC or
THC?
Really?
Yep.
And he started, he's got Woo Chews for erectile dysfunction, too.
Where can Woo Chews be purchased? TK, can you do us a quick Google search and let us know?
Anywhere. So they're based out of Michigan, but I think any state. Actually, that's a good question because they can't really transport across state lines.
Right.
So you and I are both going to be in Las Vegas next month.
Yep.
So if you'll do some advanced research for me and let me know if you get some Woo Chews, and then I'll follow up and get some Woo Chews
Hang on,
too.
wait a minute.
That's a viral video in there somewhere too.
Here's the
as well.
project.
I'm doing the ED ones.
Yeah, you do the ED ones. Yeah.
Here's the mission if you choose to accept it.
Okay.
All right. So we have Woo Chews we got to find, or y'all need to find.
Yep.
And edible ears. The Mike Tyson.
I forgot.
Mike Tyson is making edible ears.
Yes, in their ears.
They're edible.
Like
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
See, sometimes when celebrities like those guys that are aging and they're past their prime, they try these stunts, and you look at them like, guys, it's over. Give it up.
Not these
but
two.
Woo Chews and edible ears, I am here for it.
Yes.
All
I
day
am
long.
here for
All
it.
day long.
And so Mike Tyson is in the THC game now too, as
Yeah,
well,
he is.
with edible ears.
He was on a rival podcast with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, was
a
he?
while back.
Yeah, Rogan is a rival podcast of ours. Yeah, we go
absolutely.
toe to toe with him in the male 25 to 54 demographic. Pretty tight.
Today though, a vote that came out voted us #1 above them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, it was me and Chris voting.
Yeah. 2 for 2.
That's it.
Better than Rogan. You heard that here.
100% approval rate.
Yeah, 100% approval rating. So what happened, Chris?
So I don't know. But when y'all go to Vegas, y'all got to find the edibles.
Okay, the
Definitely
edibles.
got to find those.
The Woo Chews and the ear. They're called ear edibles.
Edible. They're
Yeah.
Edible ears. or
Edible
something
Edible
like that,
ears.
yeah.
Edible ears. Yeah, I love it. We all are bearded, which is nice. Brandon actually came from work, so if you're only listening on podcast, he has an exceptional pastel blue shirt with a nice pastel tie combo, and you went with the 3.5-inch width tie, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah, going a little skinny today.
Yeah. A little skinny. Did you have court?
I did, but so the unfortunate thing is, I, as everyone at this table knows, have a tendency to push the limits when it comes to time management. So this morning, had a workout in the garage, got a little gym, at-home gym. Didn't realize what time it was, so I got to get in the shower, putting the suit on. I Hulk out and rip the button, the top button, as I was trying to do it. I was like, oh, God. And yeah, so that was unfortunate, but you're able to hide
You're able to hide it. Yeah, tuck it up in there. Tuck it up
in.
in there. I love it. Is your time management bad because you just try to do so much, or do you not pay attention to what time it is?
No, it's because I pack so much into my schedule, but also I need to set alarm reminders, because if I'm like in drafting a document or something, I'm like in that task, and then I'll get a phone call and they'll be like, oh, hey, you had a meeting 15 minutes ago, you need to call, like they're calling in for it. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot.
But you have somebody who checks you for that, like if you're late for an appointment or something.
Yeah, just hired a new person.
Nice.
Actually, so.
How's it going?
It's good. Got 2 employees now, and so, hey, here we go.
And you got Chris doing God knows what to God knows who whenever it's necessary.
and HR.
He's my human resources department.
Yeah, that's really good. Hell yeah.
So I guess 3 employees.
Yeah, so 3 technically. So you left court today, and it's a nice little segue to our first topic of conversation, because we're all hot and bothered over this Bowe Bergdahl business, which was 3 Bs. That was assonance or alliteration. I don't remember which.
Ooh. 4 though. Bowe Bergdahl business with Brandon.
Oh yeah, with Brandon. There you go. All right, new segment. Bowe Bergdahl business with Brandon. We need a little jingle that's like that would be kind of fun. Weren't you gonna do like reaction videos on YouTube? You guys are gonna break down some kind of look at high speed chases or something. Has that started yet?
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, Port City Attorney, I do those, but we've been talking about having Chris get on.
Yeah, we were gonna do some.
We should do that sometime soon.
Real soon.
We just purchased all sorts of new computers. TK, am I okay to say this? To where we can live stream pretty much anything right here in studio, whether it be people or additional feeds. So we can look at a TV of people doing dumb stuff. So we do that right here too.
We can talk about stuff real time.
Yeah, real time, which I think would be a lot of fun. So if you haven't really been listening to Signal Fire Radio, there's a new reason for you to pick up. But we need to figure out what it is that we're going to react to.
Yeah, I think some of that should be consumer or
consumer driven. We'll ask the people. We'll clip around this. What would you like us to respond to? Honestly, dude, if we just put up Terminal Lance, their Instagram videos, and we just responded from like old salty dogs, like you know, like what are they doing? We never would have done something
back in my
that
core.
Not stupid. They seem to be so responsible these days.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. I think we could talk about a lot, you know, business, funny stuff, finance, lack of.
All right, maybe, yeah, exactly. Maybe we rebrand it and we do something a little different.
I like it.
The kids on YouTube are gonna love us.
The YouTubes.
Did you guys check out Shark Week last week?
Did not check out Shark Week. However, quick plug. A lot of the underwater videography that was done on some of those shark shows was the guy that we hired for the Task Force Dagger Dagger Dive videos. Yeah, so he was like been putting them up on his Instagram. His name is Sean Havis. He's a great follow. But dude, he's a wild human being. That man lives like at the very edge between what's smart and what's safe. Like he lived in the Nile in the Congo, I think he said it was, for a month recording Nile crocodiles, and it was like from you to me was the distance sometimes.
But was he like all discreet, or was he like Steve Irwin?
No, he was discreet. Like he's doing like the Planet Earth stuff where he just kind of sits there
because I mean
and waits.
I'm all about a Steve Irwin life.
Yeah.
You know, what crikey, watch as I jump on this 12-foot crocodile and he jumps off the bow of the boat.
I'm more of that observe and report lifestyle, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like to sit on a couch and watch it. There's some risks that I like to take, but man, wild animals are just so unpredictable.
Yeah, but I mean, as soon as you step foot in that water, you're no longer at the top of the food chain. As long as you just keep that in the back of in the back of your brain housing group,
Yep.
you're good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you Shark Week. I didn't watch it.
Man, watched all of it.
Yeah?
Loved it.
I did
Yeah.
watch it.
Will you binge some Shark Week?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, all of them. And it was great because I had my little girl with me, stay with me a couple nights, and she wakes up in the morning, and that's normally when I'll watch it. I don't watch it when it's on. I'll catch it the following morning, and she'll come in the living room and crawl up in my lap, and she likes watching alligators and she likes watching sharks. And I'm like, baby, what do you want to watch? Alligators or sharks? Sharks. So
Let's
we
go.
watch an episode of Shark Week.
Dude, we saw a big old gator, not to get us too far off topic. We saw a big old gator sitting right. Okay, so we were downtown Wilmington. We went to that little ice cream shop on Market. Right there where there's that little pavilion and stuff across from the battleship. There was like a 7-foot gator just sitting there
Chilling.
on that dock right down below. I was like, holy crap, that's a big alligator.
And I'm going to take us farther off topic.
Okay.
but I just saw an article where they found an alligator in some sort of body of water in Pennsylvania,
What?
which seems way too far
It
north.
does seem way too far north. And there was a whole pod of orca whales in Key Largo.
Dang.
Yeah, that made a big fuss.
Yeah,
I
so
missed
they-
it by a couple
Wow.
weeks.
They
That'd have been
talked-
sick. If
they
I was in
talked
Key
about-
West and there was orcas, like you'll
Yeah.
find me in Key Largo real quick.
Now they were talking about those on Shark Week, and those are great white killers.
Orcas are?
Yes, they are.
Man, the things you learn
Yes,
on Shark Week.
absolutely.
And it was sponsored by Jason Momoa this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or
You
was,
know,
he
he
was
was-
their MC. Did he do a good job?
He actually did.
I like him.
I do
You
too.
know, it's the first time I've seen him commentating outside of like watching a movie or whatever.
Mhm.
But he's very theatrical when
Yeah.
he talks. He's
I can
very
see
like
that.
I mean he's vibrant.
Yeah, he's
Very-
got good energy.
He
Like I
does,
feel like he
yeah.
would be somebody that you could just sit in a room like this and he would just like be fun to talk to.
Yes.
Yeah. I can see
Not,
that.
not like some of the you could like with other Hollywood types, you can tell that they're acting and you're
Right.
like
Right.
your
Yeah.
publicist put you up to this, didn't they?
Yeah, because he was in one of the Fast and the Furious series, like number 75 or whatever
Was he
number,
really?
whatever
Too
number
many.
they're on
It
right
was
now.
Too
Too
many.
many.
It was
But
too many.
Aquaman.
His character and it was hilarious. I actually sat and watched it with my son and over in Florida. It was great. Like he was the same
Really?
person that we got on Shark Week is the kind of the person that was in the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, there's some people like that that just play one guy.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Harrison Ford maybe could be considered that. Like
Yeah.
just played Harrison Ford his whole career. Or Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
That's just been Nick Cage his whole
I feel
career.
like Chris Pratt's kind of there too.
Chris Pratt,
Seems
yeah,
like a
Chris
very
Pratt's
genuine
in there.
dude.
Chris Pratt's in there. I could have watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on my flight. Weird segue. But I decided to watch Ferris Bueller instead.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guardians 3 is good.
Was it good?
I don't
I'm
think
just
it was.
worn out on Marvel.
Yeah,
like it's just too
there's
much.
a Marvel fatigue
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
They're just putting so much money into
Hence
it.
why we have a writer's strike right now. They're like, can we write something different?
Yeah, and I think part of that too is that they're not telling them like how many people are viewing, like what their numbers are, and it's all about stock valuation.
Yeah.
Is what a theory that
It's
I read
all about
online.
it's all about the business, right?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know much about the SAG strike, but I know
Yeah. Who
something's
cares?
there.
Who cares?
But
We could use a little break from like nonstop entertainment. It's
for
just like
sure.
coming too fast these days.
It is.
I can't imagine what their budgets are on these streaming
Huge.
platforms because there used to be just like the big two, Netflix and
Yeah.
like Prime,
Yeah.
and now Peacock has one,
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, like
Dude,
everyone
Disney
does.
Plus, there's rumors that Disney Plus is for sale because it's losing so much money.
Dude, that's the amount of money that just the Marvel itself is, driving as
Mhm.
far as their production cost. I would
But
imagine.
and the movies seem to be getting worse too.
Yeah,
They're
well,
just not as entertaining.
Yeah, they're going. I think for more obscure characters
Mm-hmm.
in the comic books now, and so yeah, and there's other things.
Just
going on,
it
too.
feels like one of the more recent ones that I watched. Like not only is the market getting tired of like we have to suspend disbelief now for 3 decades of Marvel movies, but the actors don't seem like their hearts are in it at all either. They're just like getting paid to be there almost, and
Yeah.
they know they're making crap, so it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna give my minimum effort humanly possible.
So before we jump into what we really want to talk
No,
about.
this whole episode's about Marvel movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And random ADD-driven
So-
segues.
Absolutely.
So superhero movies,
Hmm.
a character that has stood. I mean, it doesn't matter which. There hasn't been a bad one yet.
Mm.
Is the Batman series?
Oh, there hasn't been a bad one yet.
I
I
think it's a
didn't love
bold
the
statement.
Affleck ones,
My favorite.
and I didn't watch the Robert Pattinson.
So
one.
my favorite Batman was Michael Keaton.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Hands
Hands
down.
down. Hands
OG.
down.
But then Christian Bale's were.
They were good, but I mean,
They were great
I
movies.
Yeah.
like
They were
I
great
like
movies.
Michael Keaton, and I know there's a story, kind of a backstory when that was filmed. There was a DEA guy, fresh out of the academy, was working somewhere, New York, wherever he was at, and he had a friend on the movie set, and actually got a Batman costume.
That's kind of cool.
And when they would do raids, he would wear the Batman costume.
A
Nice.
legit one?
Yes, he actually had one from the movie,
I like
like
it.
the
Dude,
legit,
that's gnarly.
like Michael Keaton suit.
That's gnarly.
And he looked like Michael Keaton back then. He had the mullet with the earring, and
I'm
yeah.
Batman.
But yeah, that's what he would wear it. Well, then
Brilliant.
they did like a hometown heroes thing.
So he just went to the hospital for
No,
the
no,
kid.
he just
That's
kinda-
what I would do.
He
if
just
I
kind
had
of like
one of
stood
those.
he kind of stood in the background, and they're like, there's one really special person that we just can't talk to, and he comes running by. Well, DEA found out about it, and he got in trouble. He wasn't allowed to wear the Batman suit no more. Dang
Oh
it.
man, dude! If he was actually making busts in a Batman costume,
He wore it on some
that's
raids. He did wear it on some
brilliant.
raids. That's awesome.
That's brilliant.
Here-
Absolutely.
so
brilliant.
here's my thing though. The Batman movies might be the best, but undeniably Batman is the worst superhero, right?
he's
He's not a superhero.
Yeah, no, he's just
He's
a
not.
rich guy.
He's just a guy with a
Yeah,
lot of
he's just-
money.
yeah, he's-
like
yeah.
like Wonder Woman, and
Yeah.
like can fly. At
He
least,
is, but
and-
that begs the question then: what makes a superhero? Your abilities, or the 6 inches of gray matter between your ears? Because he accomplished supernatural things, I guess you might say, while only being human. So a argument could be made that he's the best superhero
best
because-
man-made superhero.
because he lacked the ability to fly or run faster
No,
than
he
a
had the-
speeding bullet or
no,
stop
he had
a
the
train.
money to do everything. He
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
yeah,
Which is why we all just want to be rich, because
Right,
we
right.
can do whatever
So
we want.
we can do Batman shit.
I feel like like superheroes to me always growing up was like people with superhuman, more than human abilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like it's just weird that Batman stuck because I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird because like that's the only storyline that I know of that it's just like a normal person
Yeah.
just with a bunch of money fighting like the Joker, who when you find out later that he keeps getting let out of jail and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
he was just clinically insane.
Yeah,
That's all
pretty
the
much.
Joker
he
was.
killed his parents.
Yeah.
And then the rest is
But then you had characters like Mr. Freeze and all these other ones that like the things that Poison Ivy, the things that they did were not possible. Like
Right.
that's where it all of a sudden like dipped into the supernatural, where you got a guy who froze himself and created some kind of freeze cannon off of it. That's not doable.
Listen, if I can't
unbelievable.
sit here and have you say that something Arnold Schwarzenegger did was not
That was the best.
not believable.
It was the best. So Batman is the worst superhero. Then we'll just take this thought exercise all the way to the end. Who's the best superhero according to the Port City Attorney?
So I think if we're talking DC, because that's where we're at, talking about Batman, obviously Superman.
Okay. Is there any other DC like superheroes other than Batman and Superman?
Aquaman, Wonder Woman.
Lame.
Wonder Woman's pretty cool.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's cool.
I don't know who else.
I don't know.
I don't watch a lot of DC.
Yeah, I could say that the
Flash.
Marvel comics are way better than the DC comics.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think so.
You know who's not a
Hmm.
comic book character?
Hmm.
Bowe Bergdahl.
Bowe Bergdahl is not a freaking comic book character.
He is a
Break
villain.
it down for us where we're at, because there are a lot of people rightfully very upset with the Bowe Bergdahl situation.
Yeah, so he was court-martialed in 2017, went to trial and was convicted, found guilty. And yeah, so has he been locked up since then?
Yeah,
Or-
I think so.
Yeah, and then the other thing I haven't clarified.
I think he was in Leavenworth.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he appeals it, conviction gets overturned, and the federal court of appeals, or whoever the appellate level review was, stated that that the judge, the military law judge that presided over the trial, did not disclose that he had an application pending with the immigration or Customs and Border Patrol, whoever runs that, right? So he basically he applied to become an immigration judge.
Mm-hmm.
He did not disclose that at the outset of the trial, and the Court of Appeals stated that could have shown a potential for bias, because in 2017 Trump was president and had basically said like, I hope Bowe Bergdahl goes to jail. And so they linked it that because Trump didn't like Bergdahl and because Trump was hard on immigration, and then this military law judge was applying to be a judge, that he would want to do something that would be put in his favor. But the crazy thing is, ultimately, the court stated that they did not find any instances of bias. So they said that the potential for bias was there.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't find any bias. However, we're still going to overturn the conviction.
What on what grounds though?
Exactly. It does not make sense to me. So the grounds were that it was an abuse. It's either abuse of discretion or something where
Which they found it not to be. So that's the 3 Spider-Man meme right there, right?
Yes.
Like, so
from what I understand, like I haven't read the appellate brief or
Mhm.
anything like that, but from what I've read from various articles was that the at least the appearance of the potential of bias should have been disclosed, and that because it wasn't, that it was enough to overturn it. However, they didn't find bias. So like that's just wild to me.
Yeah, so who's the
What
one
is-
that's turning it over?
My
is the
question is,
question.
attorney,
Mhm.
cop for a long time, that I mean, he still did wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter? What does it matter what the judge is trying to get? What, when a new, when you get a new administration in, everybody's reaching and trying to grab a piece of the new pie that's coming in,
Yeah.
right? Big deal. He's a judge.
But
he still has an oath he has to follow as a judge.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is setting on a special proceeding for a court martial of Bergdahl.
Yeah, and
Right?
and was it a trial by jury?
Well, that's what I was just looking up because I'm pretty sure it was. And
Yeah.
so why would it matter?
It'd probably be like a military tribunal or something.
Mhm.
That is wild to me.
Yeah, it's
So what's because you had mentioned, I think I saw on a post that there's a good chance that this all gets made undone, I guess, possibly.
yeah, I mean, so the conviction's overturned. So he goes back to a position that he was in 2017, where he was basically just on house arrest awaiting trial.
Okay, so he
And
has to go
so-
back to trial.
Well, so that's the thing. So
What a waste of time and money.
So a lot of times what happens is the government, now this is the military, so it's different, but the government, instead of wasting, that time and expense again to get the same outcome, might consider pleading him down to something lesser.
Really,
Yeah, that's what happens a lot.
which would
However,
really piss off a lot
because
of
this
military people.
situation, I think that DOD with, they have the largest budget in the
Mhm.
government. I think that they'll find some money to
Yeah.
to re-prosecute him.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that is just insane.
Yeah, because people died when he abandoned his post.
Five people died.
Yeah.
Looking for him.
Yeah,
He abandoned his post. He now says that it wasn't to defect, but he was obviously defecting.
Right.
It's
right.
it is such an egregious situation. And this is, where as an attorney, disheartens me, the legal system. The fact that I don't know the actual reasoning, because like I said, I haven't read the brief, but from what I've read, from what I read, it's an abuse, it's a cry of the justice system, however you want to say it, because he did these things. He's known to have done these things, and people died as a consequence, and he's just going to do whatever he wants now.
And what kind of precedent does that set? Like, we have within the VBC friends who are amongst the MARSOC 3, and there has not been a fair process for them at all
Mhm.
whatsoever. So you look at guys like that, and it's like, man, they're still being hung out to dry. For all
Right.
intents and purposes, getting completely screwed and not allowed to move on with their lives.
Right.
And all sorts of weird command influence and things like that. And then you look over here and it's like, okay, a guy that has already been found to be guilty of what it was that he was alleged to have done,
Mhm.
gets all this time and attention within the media, and potentially you don't think there's any way he like walks free, do you?
No, I don't think
But
he
if he
walks
pled out
free,
to a lesser charge, then
because I think ultimately he pled to some of
he was convicted.
he
for
was
some of it,
convicted. I don't know. It's hard to argue against it.
Yeah.
And so he'll ask for a plea offer. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'll do. I think that I think Republicans in particular and a lot of Democrats, I think it's a bipartisan issue. I think they'll urge the military to move forward with another prosecution.
We've seen other presumably bipartisan issues not be bipartisan.
Yeah, that's
as
right.
of
That's
late.
right.
What do you think about it, Chris? Like, as a civilian, even though you've been so tightly ingrained in the military, when you see something like that happen as a person who didn't serve in the military but served in other capacities, like, how does that make you feel, or how do you think the people around you feel about that?
Yeah, well, first off, it's disheartening. You know, they're making a political issue out of something that should not be a political issue at all. What does it matter? What does it matter what Donald Trump said during his campaign in 2016? What does it matter what the judge was doing, what his plans were, what his intentions were? He still got an oath of office to follow.
Yeah.
And then here's a guy. I mean, it was highly publicized anyways. During the whole thing, we all knew what was going on. And you know, so here he is. They're gonna, basically sounds like they're gonna go to another retrial. So yeah, they're gonna have to pull money from somewhere to pay for this. You know, there are people that served that were in the military that deserted. I mean, he deserted his post. And the other part of that, and Brandon, you didn't mention, is in order to get him back when he was being held captive, we traded terrorists to get him back.
That's right.
So why?
Yeah, that's what it was. 5 terrorists we traded, not 5 people that died.
People did die. Yeah,
I messed up.
So,
how does that make any sense? Like a war criminal,
right,
on our side, we're gonna give terrorists away? Just be like, no, give us that asshole back, or just go in and take him.
Your
global geopolitics be damned.
And listen, I'm a former lower enlisted guy.
Yeah, so I got
a little room to talk here, but bro is a PFC.
Yeah.
In like the 82nd.
Nasty.
He like, if I'm gonna trade 5 terrorists,
right?
You know, like, hey,
like I need a 06
this kid's a
or
turd,
above.
bro. Yeah, we need somebody good.
Yeah, why do we even need to? Well, I guess he wasn't a POW.
No.
Right?
Well, so that's what he claims.
Yeah,
that he was.
But that's right. There was something suspect about that too. That
he walked. It sounds. I mean, when you
hey, I'm on your team now. It's pretty much what he did.
If you sat around listening,
and then he was like, I immediately regret this decision. I thought I was going to get a bunch of virgins.
Hey, I'm with you guys.
You guys lied this whole time. This was all a lie.
Turns out the virgins were a bunch of man-loving Thursdays.
I know. Before we move on, can I ask you a lawyer question?
Sure.
What is an amicus brief?
It is like a supplemental brief filed by somebody that's like a third party.
What is a brief then?
A brief? So a brief is just like a summary of your argument and the legal precedent behind it. So basically, like, you'll file a motion to dismiss. And so you will say, you'll file a motion that says, hey, we're asking you to dismiss this pursuant to Rule 12b-6 is typically the one that everyone does. It's failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. And so basically, like, hey, you didn't say, like, even if everything you said was true, there's nothing wrong here, or there's no lawsuit.
Okay.
And so to support your motion, you would write a brief that's basically going to comprise of your arguments and send it to the court ahead of time so that the court can review it, so that they have an idea of what you're arguing. They have copies of, or they have time to research the cases that you're citing. And then also the other side gets to see what you're going to argue. And then vice versa, you can send a brief in to argue against dismissal, so it's a chance for you to highlight and showcase your argument.
I'm sorry, my mom called while you were talking.
No, you're fine.
I apologize.
You're
I hope
good.
that she didn't get you off track.
She did.
Emil, clip that whole little thing there for me. I want an amicus brief for social media.
I love it.
Yeah, people are gonna love that one. Okay, what else do we have to talk about today? You had some interesting topics, Brandon.
I want to make sure I'm right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Do a quick
amicus.
Is it amicus?
Curiae.
It's not pronounced amicus.
Friend of the court. Amicus is what I call it.
Okay.
I don't do appellate.
Only like the cool.
So I don't
only
do
like
appellate
the cool
stuff.
guys.
So like I just real far back in my head, like back to law school right there. So look at that.
Dude, you're pretty brilliant. And that's why you should hire the Port City attorney. If you're gonna sue somebody, that's the guy to do it.
That's right. No, yeah, man. This is this week I'm going on a golf trip.
Pretty big news.
Yeah, no, I suck at golf. I don't like golf, but I like the social aspect.
Yeah.
I go once a year.
Do you golf, Chris?
No, I don't. But I did go to Top Golf. I was in Florida 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Went to go see my son who's in the Coast Guard, and we were in Jacksonville, Florida, riding around, and I was like, "Hey, there's some big nets. That's Topgolf. Let's go play." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we went and
How'd you do?
horrible.
Yeah, me too.
But
But
Are you a golfer?
I love to play golf, but I am awful at it.
Yeah.
I'm awful at
well,
it.
my problem is too. I mean, I have I don't play golf. First off, I'm left-handed. I'm a
Mhm.
southpaw, so clubs I have to. I can't just pick up a club. I'm like, "Hey, do you got left-handed clubs?" Excuse me. So
No, I get that. But it is golf has always been, at least the appearance of a sport that like you make business deals at, right?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good
I think
social
it's the, I think it's
aspect.
the vision, right, or the aspiration from what you see on television or in movies and
Yeah.
stuff. Like the scenes from The Godfather when they're out playing golf.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like that's kind of what I wanted my
Yeah.
life to be. I wanted Robert Duvall to walk up and I could be Mike Corleone. He's got some news he's got to deliver
I got
to
you.
me.
I
Yeah.
can be your consigliere.
either some
Yay.
serious news or some serious shit talking. John Daly out on the golf course.
Yeah.
That would be. I would. You know what? I would drive his golf cart.
I think just being on the golf course is the fun part. It's not the being good at it
You know
part.
what?
Well-
I'll be out there with him.
Yeah, and this golf trip, this is my second time going. It's like a group of like 20 dudes that have been going for like 5 or 6 years. But I mean, I met a bunch of people that I wouldn't have already, otherwise known, and I actually got some work out of it. So there is that networking piece of it.
Yeah.
I think that golf before was kind of just like that's where people went because like that's when before social media you went to like a country club to go get food.
Yeah, that's
and like
where you-
everyone
yeah.
hung around there. Whereas
Yeah,
now
those
we
were
have
social. It was more about the
internet.
social environment, the
Yeah,
ability to
yeah.
network and stuff, and find new people.
now Zuckerberg let us have a
Where are we at with Zuck and Elon Musk's
Zuck just got promoted to blue belt.
cage fight?
He's a blue
Did he
belt,
Yeah,
really?
he did. I saw that.
Mhm.
Are they? Is there any new news?
I don't think it's gonna
Jermaine,
happen.
you don't think?
I hope.
I hope so too.
I'm hopeful. But yeah, they're billionaires with time. They're basically Batman. It'd be a Batman versus Batman fight.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
You know what would be cool for them to fight is
What?
if they were like, "Hey, we're each gonna build an exoskeleton.
There you go.
Whoever has a better
Oh, dude, that's
exoskeleton."
what was that show? Battle Robots. You remember Battle
Yes.
Robots?
Yeah.
That was a great
Yeah,
show.
that was good.
Battle what,
BattleBots.
TK? BattleBots.
BattleBots.
BattleBots, which had to have been inspired by one of the best PlayStation games of Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal was great.
Twisted Metal, I can remember that was a great Saturday when you go over to
Mhm.
your buddy's house. You'd bring an Nintendo 64. He had a PlayStation. You'd switch between Twisted Metal and GoldenEye 007.
Yeah, those were the days.
Those were
Yeah.
the days.
Those were the days. Look
All
at us
right.
get nostalgic.
I'm gonna look for weird news right now. Maybe there's something funny to talk about. You had something, didn't you?
Rob, do you watch UFC? Do
Who?
you watch UFC?
I do.
There were some good fights Saturday night.
I didn't
There were
watch
some
them.
good fights.
I was
It was-
working.
it
I
was
was at
good.
Patriot Franchise Expo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll talk about next. Let's
Yeah.
go to the UFC fights and then we'll talk about some things that I learned at Patriot Franchise Expo. Yeah, we got to do that one. We have to do that one, Brandon.
So Brandon and I watched fights Saturday night. It was good. Good fights.
Just the two of you?
No, there's like
Did you have the
there's
kids?
a couple of us over there. No, didn't have the kids, which is good. Well, the fights
Huh.
start at 10,
Mhm.
so they start so late.
That's why I
but-
don't watch them because it's too late. It's
Yeah.
too late.
I had a man child there with me. Does that count?
Yeah.
My designated driver.
His 16 or 17 or 18
Oh,
year old.
Your son's a DD. You've got a built-in DD.
I do.
What's that like, man? Because my best friend from college, he's my age. He has a daughter from a previous marriage who is 13,
Okay.
14.
Yeah.
So he's made it, right? His kid does their own thing. They're completely independent. But his new wife, who's younger than him, she's in her late 20s, coming up on 30. She's having a baby in December or January. And I was having a conversation with him, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't go backwards. I don't want to have another kid because I don't want to go that far
I
backwards.
understand that. I understand that. So I have two boys from a previous marriage.
Mhm.
So Gavin is 20, Fletcher is 16, and I have Braylon who will be 3 next month.
Yeah,
So Braylon is from a different woman.
right.
So I get it.
You're in the throes of it.
Yeah.
But even three, you're kind of starting to get back ahead of it. Like,
yeah.
My youngest will be 5 in January, and she's finally starting to exhibit some independence as a
Yeah.
human being. And it's like my wife and I we feel like we're starting to travel again. We have a 10-year anniversary trip coming up to Clearwater Beach. Which, get this, I got to plug Avelo Airlines real quick.
Dude,
We need to get sponsored by Avelo.
very impressed.
I flew. You've flown on them now?
Yes,
Yeah.
once.
Where to?
To Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, for one of your tournaments.
No, we went down there. So we went we flew a Velo to Fort Lauderdale and then took a cab to Miami to get on our Disney cruise ship.
Okay. Perfect. Same. We did Fort Lauderdale for our Royal Caribbean cruise, but Jenna and I are flying to Tampa, spending a long weekend in Clearwater, which I booked the hotel on points. But 2 round trip tickets on a Velo from Wilmington to Tampa. Just take a guess how much it cost me.
Round trip, $400.
$175
For both?
$175 for both tickets.
Wow.
Both tickets.
Stupid. So like, yeah, when we went to Fort Lauderdale, round trip was $78.
Yeah.
Per person, then you got to do bags.
Yeah, it's like $39 and then $49, something like that. Yeah,
dude,
totally worth it.
And the planes are clean.
Yep.
They're I
The
expected
people
it
were
to
really
be,
nice.
Yeah, I expected it to be like Spirit. You know,
Yeah.
like I was expecting to get in a fight or have to defend
But
yourself.
look, I'm not knocking Spirit. I flew out of Myrtle Beach on Spirit before. It wasn't bad.
I've never flown Spirit. I just hear bad things.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We've flown it. Yeah, we've flown it once before too, but I've
I went to
I've
Aruba.
never seen.
Oh, nice.
I've never been on a flight with a crazy person, which is disappointing to
I know,
me. Like
I'm
I
ready-
would really
yeah.
like to be there when somebody's getting kicked off.
Freak out talking to the imaginary
imaginary
man.
person.
Yep,
That
absolutely.
motherfucker is not
Nah,
real.
I'm just telling you, it's not real. I kind of felt for the girl, but then I was like, she's probably just high on mushrooms.
Yeah. Just a little too much.
Yeah, maybe she did some ayahuasca or something, DMT, before she jumped on the plane.
Yeah, but Velo's good.
Yeah.
Velo is, I would, hey, go ahead, book your Velo flight and then enter in the code Signal Fire Radio.
Mhm.
And it won't do anything,
It
but
won't do
hopefully they'll
anything.
contact us.
Yeah, maybe it'll contact us, but then all of a sudden they're going to be like, why are all these people putting
Yeah,
in the
right?
signal? And then they'll get in touch with us,
Boom.
and
Like, we're promoting you, man.
we could buy all
didn't
that cool new
start
equipment
the
TK's
fire.
been asking me about.
Let's do it.
All right, what were we talking about before I segued for a Velo? We were talking about
We wanted to touch on one more news article.
going backwards with kids. I had a point that I was going to make.
Oh,
The
shoot,
Franchise
sorry.
Expo. No, that's okay.
You guys
Well,
are going to Tampa.
We're going to Tampa. Wasn't that? Yeah, let's do the news story, and then I'll catch up on the Franchise Expo and the conversation you and I just had, Brandon, which I find very interesting.
In California,
Okay.
a man, set the scene, has been alleged to break into several condos to fondle women's feet and sexually gratify himself at the same time. Multiple break-ins. He was known to law enforcement. He was known for stealing women's shoes and would give the women foot massages while gratifying himself. He abruptly woke a couple of them up. One of them even saying that he was sucking on their toes.
Give me a pull quote. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she was like,
There we go.
I awoke to a strange man in my condo sucking on my toes.
Who is this masked man?
Yeah.
The toe sucker.
The toe sucker. What would you guys would have?
He's been
such a
dubbed
great,
the foot fondler.
Yeah, I
is
was
what
gonna
they've
say,
called
you'd
him.
have a great nickname for
You'd
him.
have to.
Yeah,
You'd have
and
to.
law enforcement would come up with a great
Yeah.
nickname for him. Yeah.
According to security company ADT, roughly a third of burglars enter through an unlocked front door. As for alleged toe sucking incidents during these break-ins and burglaries, national statistics are unavailable.
Yeah.
I love that they threw that in there.
Yeah, I mean, let's clip that one too as well because
I mean-
there's a little bit, there's good information in there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you lock your doors and windows,
We have a crime.
set your alarms.
Is there a crime wave across America with the toe sucking
What does
bandit?
this guy look like?
Right.
Let me see. You got a picture of him? Does he
so-
look like you would think he looks like?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
again, it's important to note that this is all alleged. We don't know that
this
this
is all
man.
legend. Although, if you look at the picture of this guy, he definitely did it.
Yeah, yeah, that guy 100% did it. What would your wife do, Brandon, if let's say you were away on business
Mhm.
and she awoke to a strange man sucking on her toes?
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think she'd
honestly.
fight, flight, or freeze? Where'd she go?
Lift her other foot.
Probably freeze, honestly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe she's into that. Maybe she's into that. I don't know.
Who knows? You never know until you try, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would hope that she would grab the gun that we keep in the in the nightstand. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
we got to work on some drills.
Is that conditioned one at all time?
Yeah, it's paperweight if not.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. I'm gonna throw it at him.
Yeah,
What about?
I used to roll around condition too, but then I was like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever done."
This is dumb. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is dumb. You have like what, a tenth of a second to make that decision. So
Yeah, well, I think the Marine Corps kind of conditioned me to like, don't be condition one unless you're like outside the wire
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. But then like when you think about it, when you're carrying EDC, like you're always
you're
outside the wire.
Yeah, you're always.
But
outside the
inside
wire.
my house, I'm gonna keep it condition one anyway, just because I keep it locked up, I keep it safe, and I don't want to spend the additional time even though I have a biometric safe, like unlocking it and then racking around and
Yeah.
all those things that could happen, double feeds or anything that could happen with having to do that. It's better just to have one already ready.
What would you do if you woke up and there was a gentleman in your house and he was fondling your feet?
I'd give him the other foot. Give him the other foot and be
Hey,
like,
man.
this is the last time you're ever doing this.
Yeah.
Have at it, bud.
Let him have his
Yeah.
fun, right? Before hitting him through the tee box,
That's
making his
right.
head a canoe. What about you, Bradley?
Oh man, he's getting hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't touch my feet.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, we're
that's the
not
part-
touching my feet. Like,
That's the
yeah.
part that's wild to me, man. Like, that's a really sensitive area. Don't you think you'd be like kicking at it, like
That's what I would
instinctively,
think,
even if you
yeah.
didn't wake up?
like Joe Rogan roundhouse to the face. Man,
Yeah,
with
right.
opposite
So,
foot.
but here's the thing, though. Statistically, that the first time that he started rubbing on a chick's foot wasn't the first time he went in there.
No.
He probably was in there just 2 centimeters from that bastard, on 18 different occasions,
Yeah.
just saying like one day.
One day,
One
I'm
day.
going to come in
How,
here.
One day,
how
like-
crazy is that? He
Yeah,
probably
what's
went
the
in through an
workup? When you-
unlocked window, unlocked door.
Yeah.
Lock your doors, lock your windows, or you're going to wake up to somebody.
You think he went in a bunch of times before he actually touched somebody's feet?
He's probably hitting random ones.
I
Yeah,
think
You think
oh,
so?
yeah.
Like he had to work up the courage. Give me a
I-
criminal profile on a
let's hear this.
gentleman.
So,
like
I
work
think-
me up.
He didn't. This wasn't a random one-off. He just decided, hey, I think I'm gonna go suck feet tonight.
Mhm.
Right. I think he watched. I think he. You know what? He did amateur surveillance.
Yeah.
In the criminal world, it'd be called stalking. All right. So I think he stalked these women. He watched their movements, watched their patterns. He did a workup on it. He watched. He probably may have been out of his vehicle, and he probably had stickers on the back of his vehicle that says "I suck toes."
You
look
think?
at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, toe suckers for life, right?
Right.
So
Accuse everybody else
Right.
for what you don't want to be found
That's
guilty
right.
of. Yeah.
deflection.
Yeah. Deflection. Yep.
So I think he watched. I think he may have been out of the vehicle, because if you're out of the vehicle, or he's sitting in close proximity to the front door where his windows are cracked, where he can hear that door shut and hear if the deadbolt's locked, or if they have the electronic door lock. You push the button when you walk in, or remote control door lock. I guess you can buy those too. But I think he listened for that, and he also would listen to see if there was alarm activated at night.
So that's really sophisticated stuff. Just to
Can you imagine if you
just
put
to
that much
fulfill your fetish.
time into like,
Anything.
building anything?
Anything.
Your diet, your
Yeah, I often think about that.
workout.
People who are criminals, like imagine if you put all that effort and energy into doing like
a legitimate.
a legitimate
Empire,
thing, something
yeah.
that not that building a big racketeering kind of ring isn't important
Impressive.
work and impressive.
Important work. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, right? Our waste needs managing.
It does,
These criminal
absolutely.
empires to me are sometimes fascinating. But yeah, what if you put that effort into literally anything else? What would happen from it?
Yeah, and I think that we all have a little bit of that, not to that extreme or to that detriment, but like I know that I spend time doing things that I'm like 20 minutes into it, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, why am I
why am I
still
not doing
sitting here
something
doing this?
productive? But at least it's not sucking on toes. So
Yeah.
if you're feeling bad about yourselves today, just remember that it could be worse. You could be breaking into people's houses
Yeah.
in order to fulfill some super weird fantasy.
You're not a Californian guy who's been dubbed the Foot Fondler.
That's right. That's right.
We
But
tried. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick.
Yeah.
There's somebody on the internets, a lot of these somebodies, but somebody that I know that will sell you her socks.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this somebody who just came to you through TikTok, or is this an actual person that you know?
Yeah. So, yes. And so
that was telling. That was telling.
But she is very open about she'll spit into a vial and someone will pay her like $350 for it.
Why?
Or that she literally sells her bathwater.
That's disgusting.
But she was like one of the first people in the space
Uh-huh.
and just must have a real good musk.
Is this a person of above average attractiveness?
Yeah. I'll show you.
Okay. Off air. Because I am
She's
fascinated
very
by
open
this.
about it.
Yeah.
But I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
But you don't have any discretionary income
yeah.
for such things.
Right, sure.
Yeah. Yourself.
That's right. that's
You
right.
don't have an extra
Yeah,
$350.
yeah. That's why
to
I
go
come
buy
into your
some
house
bath
whenever you're asleep.
Chris, we always try to leave all of our listeners with some very practical tips on how to live a better life. How can women better protect themselves from a foot fondler type of situation?
Oh man. So we live in a world of cell phones, and this goes for not only women but men included. When you get out of your vehicle, put your phone away.
Yeah.
Watch.
Oh man, yeah.
Just situational awareness. Just
Yeah.
watch. You know what? You ain't got to have your phone in your hand when you get out of the car to walk into the store or to walk into your house. You know what? When you get inside, make sure you lock your door when you go in, or If you got a Velociraptor at home like I do, I just open the door.
Yeah.
Open his crate up.
Yeah.
His crate up. He bounces around. I'm like, Jay, calm down. Jay calms down, and we're good. We're ready. You know what? And then he goes and he'll sit at the front door and watch everybody go by. And if you come close to the door, he may try to chew your arm off.
Dude, the putting of the cell phone down is so smart and relevant. I was in San Antonio this past weekend. It's a great town, by the way. Had a very, very good time in San Antonio. Ate my body weight in street tacos. We can talk a little bit about that.
For you.
I was there for the Patriot Franchise Expo. We'll talk a little bit about that here coming up. But there were 35,000 people there for a Herbalife convention.
That's insane.
Which is not Herbalife is not what you think it is. It's multi-level marketing. It's like shakes and health food supplements and whatnot.
We have a couple places here in Wilmington.
Yeah. There's one right by my office.
Not what you
There's
think
a
it is,
Herbalife
as in like an herb-based business or a pyramid scheme.
An herb-based business.
Okay.
It's definitely a pyramid scheme.
I know somebody that's super high up in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they make money?
They make really good money.
I think
but they got into it super early.
Yeah, I think
know
the people who
the
got
person
into
I
it
know
very,
is
very early
very
are making
well.
a lot of money. Yeah,
Which is the whole point.
So all those
Kidding,
MLMs,
really.
all those pyramid schemes is like, if you're there at the very beginning, you can do absolutely nothing and just be a cheerleader for a substandard product, and you can make a lot of money doing it. But it's just, it all seems so super deceptive to me. But that's not the point. 35,000 people were in San Antonio, right in the Riverwalk downtown convention center, and I hate walking behind people. Period. I hate walking behind people who walk 4 people deep on a sidewalk. And then each one of them also has their cell phone on. I was enraged all weekend.
I believe it.
But it's so dangerous too, because I saw somebody actually almost get hit by a car because they weren't paying attention, and they were on their phone looking at directions or taking a selfie. I don't know what they were doing.
Right.
So your point about, like, if you want to be a safer person, put your cell phone in your pocket when you're out doing things.
Well, think about this. All right. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I am right-handed.
All right,
but I'm cross-side dominant. I didn't realize that.
So what phone?
So I got to shoot left-handed.
What
now.
hand do you primarily have your phone in?
I think in my left. If I'm looking at it, I'm holding it in my left. Maybe both hands. I don't know. Maybe my right hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about
probably
you?
my right hand.
Typically right hand.
All right,
Yeah,
Are you
'cause,
right-handed?
Yeah.
Okay. So think of it as a practical standpoint. Somebody comes up to you and tries to bum rush you, and you need to take a swing on them, and you got your phone in your dominant hand.
Mm-hmm.
How strong are you with your weak hand?
I would just throw my phone at him.
I was gonna say, how close are they? Can I bounce my phone off their
If you
face?
caught a corner of this, like right
dude.
here
Well,
in the orbital bone, that
there's-
would
there's-
hurt.
The shoe, honestly.
There is a with Brandon.
Honestly,
So
who does that?
where we have a disadvantage, Rob, Brandon, they're not gonna. I mean, they're gonna look twice. They're like, look at his ears.
Oh yeah,
That man
no.
fights for fun.
No,
You would think that, but a lot of people don't.
looking like Brandon is like the best deterrent,
It
right?
is. Absolutely.
A guy
You guys
like
are so
me,
sweet.
yeah, a guy like me, they're like, I could beat the shit out of that guy. I'm gonna take him.
But
I'm gonna
that's
steal all
what
his
you
money.
want, and then you want to like.
Oh, I go wily
Yeah,
crack
yeah,
monkey
yeah.
on him.
There was a. I remember seeing this meme years ago, and it said people who. It said something about people that they're intimidated of, and it was 2 big meathead bodybuilders, right? 300 plus pounds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
saw
underneath
that.
it said who they should actually be intimidated of, and it was Cyborg, early Cyborg,
Yeah,
before,
super skinny.
yeah, real skinny. He had on like just like an oversized T-shirt,
Yeah.
some baggy pants.
I think the other one was like John Jacques Machado or
Yes,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And so it's like, just like it's funny how people put stock into things like big muscles and stuff
you
like
know,
that.
fear
but
big
it doesn't-
bodybuilders.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily correlate.
Yeah.
Which on that I hate. I watch these like jujitsu videos where it's like, oh, bodybuilder challenges jujitsu practice black belt and gets his ass kicked. It's like, yeah, well, no
Obviously.
shit.
Well,
I
I
just
just saw a
Obviously.
video. I just saw a video yesterday, and it was one of Connor's coaches
Mhm.
took down a bodybuilder in like 10 seconds.
Oh, really?
Took him down, tapped him out.
Was it Dylan Danis?
I think so.
That guy's so cringy.
Yeah.
He's so cringy.
I mean, he immediately took his feet
What
out
do you
from
do? How do
underneath
you take him
him.
down?
He took his feet out right
Just
out
one
the gate.
one
Yeah.
big kick.
He shot his legs,
Oh,
took
yeah.
his legs out,
Yeah.
put him on the ground.
Well,
and
that's the
had
thing
him
about
tap him.
big guys like that. They move so slow.
Right.
They're like, I feel like they're in slow motion. They're like, "Bruh."
But if you do something in their world, like no one would be like, "Oh my gosh, you can't deadlift 9,000
Yeah,
pounds."
right?
You know,
Like,
it's like, well, yeah, no
clearly
shit,
I
yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I
deadlift-
can't deadlift 5 plates,
Right.
And so that makes me.
But what's practical
normal?
about that? Yeah,
Right,
that makes
yeah.
me a normal human being. I can pick my kids up though. How
Yeah,
about
right,
that? I can
yeah.
bend all the
Well,
way down.
if
and
you
I
go
can
back,
pick 'em
but
up.
I mean, even the
Right.
guys that were doing that. Even you go back and look at the guys from, I mean,
Jay
the
Cutler.
great Ronnie Coleman. I mean,
Ronnie
look at him now. He's all
Coleman,
busted up, right?
Yeah,
And-
Yeah,
buddy.
is he?
yeah, he's busted up real
yeah, I
bad.
can't
Surgeries,
imagine.
back
He
surgeries.
has
He's on
permanent crutches or
yes,
whatever.
with the arm crutches.
Yeah.
But some
Oh,
of these
that's
other
so
guys,
sad.
like Cali Muscle, he went to prison. He was in prison for a while, whatever, got out. And I mean, he was really big into steroids, let's be honest.
Yeah.
All right. He quit all of that. And if you look at him now, he's just a very chiseled up guy that weighs maybe 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Where he, at one point, he was 260, 280.
Yeah. Now, somebody that's done really well is Jay Cutler, because he, as opposed to Ronnie Coleman, he focused a lot on like machine and accessory work. And so his like spine wasn't constantly under that tension.
That overloaded.
Yeah,
with,
that Ronnie
deadlifts
was.
and bench
And so I'm sure
squats.
that he suffered a lot of neurological damage.
Yeah, but that's that. But Ronnie was a power lifter before he got into bodybuilding.
Right. Which even more time under that tension. And,
Right.
But
you know
You
what?
telling me those guys did steroids? I thought it was all muscle milk and NO explode.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
And Rippets.
Who'd have thought?
And hydroxycut, right? When
Yes.
they really had to get ready for a
Yeah,
show.
that's
the-
it.
The original Jack 3D
Amphetamine
formula and hydroxycut, man. You could do anything.
You could, man.
I'm pretty sure I took that for a patrol one night.
Dude, I remember having that. I think that was like 2003, 2004, 2005. So my first couple years in the Marine Corps. Take some hydroxycut and you could fly, brother. That stuff.
That was like the gas station.
You'd feel
burger
no
pills had
pain.
like meth in them.
The no-dos.
Right next to the horny goat weed that they put, like, just any idiot in Jacksonville, North Carolina is like, I'm gonna buy this with a Mountain Dew.
I hear if you smoke this kratom, you can. Really
There's no reason kratom should
spice.
be legal.
Yeah.
All right. In the 10 to 12 minutes that we have left, I want to talk about a couple interesting topics that came up while we were at the Patriot Franchise Expo this past weekend. So I learned a few things. I met with some people who have been doing this entrepreneurship thing for a lot longer than me, and they're at the point where I look ahead to my life and go, I think I'd like to be there at some point. That's kind of what I feel like I'm working towards with all of this. And Brandon, you and I were talking about it earlier. Sometimes it can be really hard to see the forest through the trees. If you're in year 2, year 3, year 4, you're just not seeing it. You're not seeing it. And universally, the people that I talked to this weekend all said, it's not till around year 5 that you go, I got this. I got it figured out. I know what I'm here to do. I know how to do it. And then from year 5 to year 15 or year 20 is when they finally start to experience the reward of that big risk of doing things for yourself in those first 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was an encouraging little piece of information that I took from there. Add on to that they all say the number 1 and number 2 ways to build wealth is to own a business and to own real estate. And those two things can work together.
Yep.
A lot of them own commercial properties and then lease those commercial properties to their businesses, which is a very smart strategy. I heard a lot about putting kids on payroll immediately, paying them. I think it's $6,500 a year. You can pay them
You can
through
pay
a
him, I
Roth
think it's
IRA.
up to 12,000.
Yeah, you gotta be
Yeah.
careful with that though. I've got some friends that are tax attorneys
Okay,
that
talk to me.
don't necessarily. That there's ways that you can go about it, but you really need to talk to a really competent CPA, because if they're not actually earning that income,
Yeah.
then
Well, no,
you
they need to
can't
be doing a
track it.
job. They need to be doing a
Yeah,
job,
yeah,
like
you can-
sweeping up, but it doesn't have to be a big job, right?
Right.
You can take pictures of them, and that can be for marketing, or you can put them
Right.
in the office and have them sweep up and clean up. They should be performing a function.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And that's to that point, like that's when you're teaching your kids the lesson. Like, no, the owner still works at 7:00 at night sometimes, and that means we have to come and we have to, scrub the windows and clean up and shred documents. In Brandon's case, got to burn the evidence and things like that.
Burn it down.
But I heard a lot about put your kids and have your family on payroll. Pay your family. And there's a bunch of different strategies. And yes, it should go to note. We could put a little disclaimer down here. I don't know a damn thing about anything. I'm just telling you what other
Consult
people
with
told
an
me.
attorney and a CPA before you do that.
Before you do any of those things.
I don't do it, and that's because I don't know enough about it, and so that's just how I'm gonna leave it.
In general, you should not do things that you don't feel well educated enough to do.
Yeah, and I have a good CPA. I just need to schedule time to go talk to him about some things like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you want to make sure that's a fantastic point with life, and then especially owning a business, that if you're not sure, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it pays to ask for forgiveness, not permission, but not with the federal government.
Yeah, you don't want to mess around
Al
with that.
Capone didn't go down for murder, baby. That man went down for tax evasion.
Yeah,
IRS, if they want you, they'll get you.
yeah, they will.
Because here's the thing, as Chris can agree with or not, but there's so many laws on the books that you're committing a crime all the time.
Absolutely.
Like throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
99.99% of people are committing crime.
Yeah,
At some point. And
Yep.
so, a big thing like taxes, something that they actually prosecute. So you need to make sure that, if you're running a business, that you don't just have a CPA that fills out the forms for
Yeah.
you, that you're meeting with them quarterly, even if they're not doing your books, just to make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to do.
I just got a bookkeeper today. I just decided
Good for you.
to do it. Yeah, because I'm awful at it, and it's one of those things that I get behind on, and then I have to go back and do like 2 or 3 months worth of
Are you
transaction coding.
reconciling
Yeah.
those transactions?
Yeah.
I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, you have to. Like, I didn't in the beginning, but you have to, because you have to know if you're on track. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
So
So,
sometimes in operating accounts, money comes and money goes, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't really know if I'm making more than what I did this time last year,
yeah.
or if I'm not.
I end up doing it like once a
Yeah.
year. I need to do it
Yeah.
every quarter. You
Yeah.
know?
I did that. I met with my accountant Friday,
Mm-hmm.
past Friday, over some stuff I've got working. Big secret. Brandon knows a little bit about it.
Yeah.
And
Is it an OnlyFans?
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna
Only
toe,
plans.
toe suckers.
Yes.
But I was surprised. Like, you don't think about it when you're putting your head down and you're grinding.
Mhm.
You're grinding forward, right? And when I sat down and we're going over my numbers from 22, I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm kind of proud of myself.
Yeah.
So hell, I was just a local cop in in little towns
Yeah.
for 20 years. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know nothing about running a business. In my second year in, I was like, man, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at my transactions that I need to clear, and I'm trying to decide if they go back.
How many days back do they go? Because mine's over 100 right now.
Oh yeah, mine go back to the beginning of the year.
Oh, okay. All right. Mine not that bad. Thank God. Thank God. See, and I take a lot of inspiration and aspiration from you. So as long as I'm as good as you, then I'm doing okay.
Well, I appreciate the faith that you put in me.
There was a compliment in there somewhere.
I appreciate
promise.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like being an attorney, like the important thing for me to reconcile and stay on top of is my trust accounting, which I do, like in triplicate.
Yeah, you have to do
And
that,
so
right?
the operating stuff kind of falls off because at the end of the day, like I was talking to a colleague of mine, they're like, that's just your in-house stuff at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah.
make sure that you're good with the bar.
Right.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
always
don't
gonna
get
make sure I'm good with
sideways
the
of that,
bar.
right?
Yeah.
We have a prominent attorney in town who's gotten a little sideways of that, hasn't she? Mishandling some client funds that was an elected official here that's in some hot water about that.
Nope.
If you want to hear more about that,
No
tune
comment.
into the Carolina Coastal Network that TK runs because he's all over those local topics. We don't
Nice.
touch those things here. We're non-political.
Non-political.
Here's the last thing that I learned while at Patriot Franchise Expo
Mhm.
is that in franchise concepts, veterans, when measured against their peers, make 3 times the sales, so have 3 times the revenue versus non-veterans, which astounded me. It floored me because I hear all the time that I don't think I'm a good salesperson. And you don't have to be a good salesperson to run a good business that generates a lot in sales. And statistically, what we're seeing is that of the 30 or 35,000 different franchise concepts that are out in the U.S., 7% of them are owned by veterans. And of those 7%, compared to the 93% of non-veteran owners, they make 3 times as much in revenue.
Wow.
Which is, of course, going to boil down to profit if you're
Right.
running a tight business.
Sure.
But those were the 4 things. That
Interesting.
after year 5, it gets better. That real estate and small business ownership are still the tickets to wealth. Veterans make 3 times as much sales when measured against their peers. And I don't remember what the 4th thing was
Hire
that
your
I threw in
kids.
there. Hire your kids. Hire your kids.
So 3 out of 4 of those we're pretty sure on.
3 out
Yeah.
of 4 of those. Yeah, 3 out of 4 of those I can say with absolute definity. Is that the right word?
I like it.
Absolute.
It's close.
Absolute definity. I'm bi-curious, man. That's a callback
Shout
all
out
the way
to
to
Pursley.
season 3, episode 1. But yeah, so learned a lot of cool stuff at the Patriot Franchise Expo, and am encouraged now where I'm at positionally going into maybe now my 6th year of business ownership, that I finally am starting to feel like I got it figured out.
Yeah, no, and it's, and those lessons are important to learn, and it's, important to surround yourself with people that are going to continue, your intellectual stimulation with trying to figure out how to grow your business. Like, I mean, I called both of you guys today,
Yeah.
talking about potential franchise opportunities that we're not going to talk about on air because I
Can't
don't
do
want
it.
anybody stealing that stuff.
Seriously.
But if you have a bunch of people around you that are goal oriented and like minded in their goals, they don't have to be. Look, you don't have. We've talked about before on here. You don't have to agree with everything that someone says or does, but they might be a good fit for you in some way. And so, like, be around people that are goal oriented, that will push you, and that you're open to talking to money about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a big thing. I grew up. Like, my family didn't have a lot of money. We didn't talk about money.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and own a business, I talk numbers, hard numbers, because if you don't, you can't figure out if you're doing it right or wrong.
Does your wife get mad at you when you do that?
No,
Mine does. Jenna does. She's like, don't talk to people about money. And I'm like, but then I'm not talking. It's not real.
Yeah, it's not real
You know, it's
unless you
not
have
real.
hard numbers. Like when you're talking about a potential situation with like a sale or an acquisition or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't be like, hey, hypothetically, I made that money, dude. Don't bring me hypotheticals.
Yeah.
All right, you have X amount of capital, you have X amount to invest. This is what you need to raise. Like, how could we potentially?
Yeah,
do
we need
this?
to base our conversation off of reality and things that are actually happening and opportunities that are really happening.
So yeah, I guess maybe just a parting thought. What is your thought on, Chris, like on who you surround yourself with, and for you personally, what's been your driving force through your first couple of years of business?
So obviously I'm hanging out with Brandon constantly, so that could be good and it could be bad.
I want to find a week that I can just come work at y'all's
Come work
office.
out
with
at
you
y'all's
guys.
office.
man.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, that might be fun.
Next week.
Yeah,
Next week's a free week for me.
Yeah, not the 4th of July because we are closed.
Yeah, we're
Closed,
closed.
baby.
That's
We're
right.
The
committed.
whole week.
Committed.
To
Hold us to
closing
it.
for the whole week.
I think I think that it's the people you surround yourself with. Yes, that can better you as a person, whether it's professionally or personally or whatever. One of my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I can call him at 7 o'clock in the morning. I can call him at 10 o'clock at night, and have those serious, whether it's a business talk, personal talk, whatever. And he's just a wealth of knowledge. He's a hell of a salesman. I mean, he sells the company he works for. They sell lease EV vehicles to businesses and municipalities and so on and so forth. And I mean, crushes it.
Yeah.
Crushes it and works from home.
Yeah.
Like does it from home. So I mean, just random, blind calling, companies, franchises, whatever, and gets them to try to buy EV vehicles from him or lease them from him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that people do come in your life, and it could be a short stay or it could be a long stay, and they're long stays because they bring value to the table for you. So
that's a good way of saying it. Yeah, you're the average of the rule of 3 to 5. You're the average of the 3 to 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
So choose very wisely on who you're spending a lot of time with.
Yep. And what was the other half of that?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
And
it gets yeah, but to that point, I think it gets easier to narrow that 3 to 5 down the older you get because you have family obligations, you have children, and so you've really got to pick. When we're younger, it's like, hey, who's a good time?
Yeah,
right.
That's how I always
yeah,
pick
exactly,
people.
yeah.
But now it's like,
who can
hey,
hang?
Yeah, now it's like, hey, like who do I have time to fit into my schedule?
Right.
And do they bring value to the
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now. So the business part.
Oh yeah, the business. First couple years in business.
The first couple years, it was a grind.
Yeah.
I did have the opportunity. I was involved in something else. Still sort of kind of hands off involved in something else right now, in another state. But it's again, nose to the ground, get in there, get dirty, learn everything you can about the business, go out there. And I'm old fashioned. I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I like talking to people in person.
You're a cop, man. Knock and talk.
If somebody,
right.
when I have potential clients call, I encourage, we can have a meeting over the phone, but if you'd like, I'll come to you. I'll come sit and talk with you if you don't want to drive to the office. Just so I can have that human interaction so that they know who I am. They know that I'm going to give them the best service possible. And they know that there's a person behind that number. We get so lost, again, going back to the cell phone.
Yeah.
We get so lost on the phone. Communication everything is done through phone. Well, and I mean, your emails through your phone, your text through your phone, phone calls are through your phone, and FaceTime. I have some clients that FaceTime. It's weird, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, but it's getting away from this and getting back in front of that person, because in front of a person, I'm going to sell it all day long. Where they may be, I may be missing something on the phone when I'm trying to sell something to them. Whereas when I'm in person,
You're much more effective.
Yes,
Because of the implication.
Yeah. And
Any
because,
It's Always Sunny fans out
yeah,
there?
yeah. And because Chris is an intimidating looking person. So like, you don't want, nobody's going to tell him
I
no.
won't tell you no.
Yeah.
I'll just smile.
Even though you got nice eyes. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
And nice eyes and a nice face too.
Rob, what are your closing thoughts on just surrounding yourself with the right people?
I've lived that path where you're not with the right people, and then I've been on that path when you are with the right people. And I'll say when you are focused on something, like I have clear objectives in my life. Like I want to succeed at this media arm. I want to bring value to my community. I want to be an involved husband and an involved father. Involved husband and involved father. I want to be there to help my mom and dad get settled in as they age and help them to age gracefully. So like these are things that I want to do. And I have found that the biggest derailer of all of that is the people that you have in your life and how you're choosing to spend time with them. And sometimes there can be hard conversations with people. I love you as a human being. You're just not right for me in this point in time of my life. But when you find that mix of people who are like, okay, I get it. I see what it is that you want to do. And you can bring people in like a TK or some of these other people that are in my work life that help you get there a little bit faster because they know their shit. Then you're like, cool, the business side of it is done.
Right.
And when the business side of it is done, that frees you up to be the husband, be the father, be the involved community member, be the son, be the brother, be what the hell ever to whoever it is that needs it from you. So yeah, you don't get to the right circle without going through some people that are in the wrong circle, that shouldn't be in the circle, fucker. You know,
Amen.
like
Amen.
Under the tree of trust or whatever it is. So it's like, it's a process. Don't beat yourself up, but listen to those voices inside your head that goes, man, I spend a lot of time with this person accomplishing absolutely nothing. Or their spirit or their aura just brings me down every time that I see them.
Yep.
So like, got to move on. Just got to move on. You got to move on fast. That's how I feel about it at this point in my life.
Love it.
Yep. You know what else you can do on your phone, Chris Bradley?
What's that?
You can listen to Signal Fire Radio.
And you can follow Cape Fear Investigatives. You can follow Port City Attorney. You can follow Signal Fire Radio.
Signal Fur, whatever it is. You can like and subscribe this podcast. You can watch us on YouTube. You can go follow us on social media. For now, though, that's Chris Bradley from Cape Fear Investigative Services.
That's me.
That's Brandon Pettyjohn, the Port City Attorney, and I am Rob Renz. Wow. Yeah, I know. Next week on Signal Fire Radio, we are going to lance those cauliflower ears live because TK is going to stream it straight to the internet.
They'll probably be calcified by then.
Straight to the interwebs. I hope so. Hey, thank you for joining us on this episode of Signal Fire Radio. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. Leave us some feedback. We love to hear what it is that you're feeling about Signal Fire. And until next time, please go out, feed your mind, strengthen your body, enrich your spirit, grow your tribe, and go be a Signal Fire in your community. Talk to you next week.